We all know the power of music in filmmaking, but let's face it, scrolling through hours of mediocre tracks is excruciatingly painful. I've tried a lot of different music libraries in the past, and what often happens is that they have a large volume of tracks, but the quality of those tracks isn't very good. So when Musicbed reached out to me to give a trial of their service, I gave it a shot because, well, there's not much to lose, but I was genuinely surprised by what I experienced. So I'm going to walk through my personal experience with Musicbed, what I think makes it special, and how it fares to my other music library subscriptions right now. Musicbed has not seen this video before I've posted it, so all my thoughts are my own and they have no input on what I say. And the goal of this review is to help you decide if Musicbed is worth it for you. So with that, let's get started. So what makes Musicbed special? First off, it's actually part of a bigger brand known as FM. And the mission of FM was pretty surprising to me because I have never really heard of them before, but I really align with their value. Their whole proposition is providing artists the resources they need to create compelling stories. And this goes for both like musical artists as well as filmmakers and photographers. And FM actually is the owner of a few brands, and one of them, of course, being Musicbed. And so the idea with Musicbed is to provide high quality musical tracks to creators like us so that we can elevate our films above the sort of standard stock music that's out there. And what's great is that these are real artists. I believe they say it's over 50,000 real artists. So you're actually supporting other creators while you create yourself. And so it's a win-win-win, and that's actually what I'm really shocked and surprised to hear about Musicbed. I'm really for like supporting and helping other artists, and so the fact that I'm able to do that with this subscription really makes me happy. And the library of music is all pretty high quality because they're actually hand vetted by their team. So pretty much they get a bunch of submissions, but only the ones that they deem quality or worthy of being on their library do they actually list. So even if you're on like say page 20 of a search result, you're still gonna have music that's gonna be really good. All right, now let's break down how it actually works. If you're a solo creator like this, creating content online for your social media platforms, the subscription price is $30 a month. But if you're a freelance filmmaker or production company and you wanna use these tracks in your client's work, then it's actually going to cost you $100 a month. Now, I do think this is a little more expensive than I would be comfortable paying for, so I only have the creator plan. And in fact, every single song you've heard for the last, oh my gosh, I guess it's about to be a month and a half now, has been from Musicbed. And they do have options for single licenses, so say you don't want to buy the subscription plan, you just want to buy a license to one song, but that's typically way more expensive. I believe they're like something around $150 to $300 just for one song. So it's definitely worth getting the subscription, but only if you're actually going to use the songs. So now I'm going to actually hop into Musicbed so I can show you a little bit of its layout, how it works, and some of the unique features they offer. So let's hop onto the computer. Okay, so here we are in Musicbed, and they have a homepage that has like, recent releases and anything that might be new and something they might be promoting, like this Best of 2024 playlist. But what I really like is how well organized they are. So on the left-hand side here, you can see we have genre, mood, artist, attributes, instrument, and then some advanced features as well. We'll get right through them. Let's start from the top. So in genre, as you can see, they have a whole list of genres that you can search for. So if you're really looking for a specific sound, a specific mood or genre, you can filter it through any of these. And most often than not, I'm using like something like cinematic, and then I'll choose the mood. And as you can see, when you click one of these filters, the list automatically updates as well. And let's actually listen to this first one just so we can get a sense of some of the quality of their tracks. Like that one alone is already really good and clearly gives like a nostalgic sort of upbeat vibe. And based off the title, The Shape of Your Smile, that sounds about right. But let's go on to mood now. Let's say we don't want to go for like some sort of classical sort of moody vibe like that. Let's say we want something more spooky, like eerie, I think is what it is. And let's try approaching light, because that sounds like something. This one's clearly got a more dramatic, slower build vibe. Let's actually go to the drop to see how it feels. And as you can see, there's like a middle portion of the song that's actually super fast, super upbeat, and has like this driving energy that will, obviously, if you use it appropriately in your video, can give the right feeling to it. But as you can see, they have a ton of options, from angry to carefree, peaceful, even if you're looking for a more, chill vibe, somber, and uplifting, which is probably what I'll usually use for some client work. Let's remove this filter and let's go to artists. And now you can see they have a ridiculously long list of artists who have contributed to this library. But once again, they've all been vetted through. And I haven't found a specific artist that I liked yet, but I'm sure if you do start to realize that, hey, I keep downloading songs from Long Lake or Voyager, you can just search their track specifically here. So let's do that now. Voyager, and there's all of Voyager's tracks, so that we can stick with them if that is something we'd like to do. For now, let's remove that, and let's head on to attributes. This is where I think Musicbed sets itself apart from some of the other audio library options out there. And that's just because the way they actually have a ton of filters here. As you've already seen, we have so many filters already, but in attributes alone, you can see they have atmospheric, beat, beautiful, bluegrass, which I'm not even sure what that means, but then you got Caribbean, bouncy, classical, dance, dark, dramatic, even dubstep, something that I haven't heard in a very long time. Funny enough, they even have espionage in case you're working on some sort of spy film. All this to say, you can really filter and nitpick the exact style of music you're looking for using these filters. And then of course we also have instrument, which they also have a ton of options for, as you can see, and it's all organized alphabetically. So accordion, banjo, even bells, we need more cowbell, a clav, drums. You can look for songs that use these specific instruments, maybe even nature sounds apparently, or sax if you're trying to go for a sexy George Michael vibe. Let's actually see what they got here. Well, I didn't hear the sax in that one, but you get the idea. Now let's go on to the advanced feature, which is where it gets really interesting, especially if you're someone who understands music. So this is where you can actually organize music by BPM, the key, so A through G if you're familiar with music, and then of course you even have major and minor keys here. And then how it builds, so does it stay steady? Does it have some sort of crescendo if you're looking for that crescendo? The length, and of course if you want vocals, different types of vocals here, oohs, ahs, male, female, duet, chorus. And I think the standout feature here that I haven't seen from other music libraries is the key. So usually it's a lot easier to mix songs if they're in the same key. In fact, most people wouldn't even notice if you had a song change, but it was in the same key. It might even sound like the same song, just with a different part of the song. And that's really cool, and which I really appreciate. And one of my favorite keys is actually A major. And so we can choose two songs here, and we'll just play them back to back and see how they sort of fit. And I'll choose the middle part of the song, which is you can do by hitting quick preview, and it'll actually play the most interesting portion of the song. So let's try top here, Holdra. And then I'm gonna click the next song. Those two alone would actually cut together very, very well, as you can kind of hear. It's really surprising, and I've never seen this feature before, so I really appreciate them for having that. And then of course, on the very bottom here, you have whether you want lyrics or you just want the instrumental versions of songs. Last thing I want to share with you guys is their AI search feature, which is on the top right of the home page here, search by song. And we'll see what happens when we click it. You can actually search a song that you want to use as a reference so that maybe you can find a song that sounds like it. So for example, let's say I really like this new Chapel Roan song, Good Luck Babe. And you'll see here, it'll even say, show similar songs like this. Let's see what it gives us. This might take a while, but let's try like the first two songs here. Now, if you actually know the Good Luck Babe song, that's actually a pretty close rendition, which is kind of shocking because I imagine these are probably older than this song. But let's see what Sleepless Nights gives us. Once again, pretty darn spot on. I've used this feature a few times now, and it depends on the song, but some have better outcomes than others. But as you can see, even this song that is barely a year old, I suppose, still has a lot of songs that are similar to it and give the same vibe, even like the vocal mixing and sometimes even the instrumentals. As you can hear, both of those songs do a really good job kind of mimicking that feeling. And I'm gonna save this one because this one's really good. And of course, if you don't want to scour through music manually, you can go through their curated playlists. This is nothing new to any like audio library, but they do have a good job of having a lot of different options for you. You can see they even have best of every month. So I guess the ones that have been uploaded during that month that do the best. But you can go through here and look, funny enough, to have Brat Summer, which is, if you're familiar with Charlie XCX music, I imagine it's just going to be something like that, which is hyper pop. But then you got filmmakers, so you can see what music different artists are using. So you can see these are people like Matt Hapoya, which is a YouTuber, and Yes Theory as well, like the music they use from this library, which is really cool and also shows you how many people in the creative space are actually using Musicbed as their audio library source. Colin and Samir even, I didn't even know that. Let's see what happens when we click in this library. You might recognize some of these songs. In fact, I think we just listened to Wallflower, but let's give it another listen. I can definitely see that being one of their intro music cards as they're sort of explaining and giving the outline of what's to come in their video. Funny enough, maybe they have already done that and I already heard it, but I'm adding that to my favorites as well. All right, so based on all of this, what is my recommendation to you? Well, first off, I think Musicbed has actually become my favorite audio library of choice compared to my other options, which I'll remain nameless for now. As you just saw, not only are the tracks really high quality, unique, and super like valuable and useful for projects, they are always updating the library with those curated tracks. And if you're looking for something specific, like another song, their AI tool is really good of putting those tracks that are related to it in a way that actually work. My biggest drawback with this platform is its price. I do think it's one of the more expensive options out there, especially given that they only do music and not sound effects. So that is something to consider if this is something you want, because it is going to be a pretty hefty annual tag. Even if you're a solo creator at $30 a month, that's going to be what, $360 a year. And so if you're not really making money as a creator or you're just starting out, I think Musicbed could be a little bit out of your reach if money is an issue. And especially if you're a production company or a commercial filmmaker like myself, $100 a month is a lot, and that adds up to what, $1,200 a year. I'm not sure if I would upgrade to the commercial license quite yet, because that is a little more expensive than I'm used to paying for stock music. But as you saw, the stock music doesn't really sound stock, and it's actually a lot nicer than the other libraries I use. So it's definitely something I'm looking to upgrade eventually once my business does grow. But the great thing is, if you want to try out Musicbed, you can use a 14-day free trial, which I'll link in the comments section below. The trial allows you to get song licenses during those whole 14 days. And even if you decide to cancel and not go through with the paid trial or paid version, you get to keep those licenses for free, no strings attached. Luckily, they gave me a year's subscription for free in exchange for this review. And so I'm really looking forward to taking advantage of that and using as many tracks as I can in these YouTube videos, which I already have. And it's been really nice. I really do appreciate and love the library of music that Musicbed offers. So go ahead, check out the trial down below in the description box. And if you have any other questions about Musicbed, I'm happy to answer them in the comments section below. Thank you so much for watching all the way until the end. I appreciate every single one of you who do, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.